I'm going to show you guys why the Ottomans are the easiest nation to do a world conquest with, as well as why they're the strongest. So make sure to leave a like. Once we get 4,000 likes, I'll do the second part of this campaign. We'll take it all the way to 1821 in a multi-part series, explaining the early, mid, and late part of the campaign in detail. And if you enjoyed this type of content, make sure to subscribe as well. Would encourage me to make more videos like these in the future, and let me know that you enjoy the content. The Great Ottoman Empire, boys! That's the most Turkish accent you're gonna hear today, isn't it, buddy boy? That's right, we're playing Historical Ottoman Caliphate, and we got a whole world ahead of us to snack on. It is a sad day indeed. This is the start of my last Ottoman campaign before E5 comes out, and we start playing as the quote-unquote underdog Ottomans, right? Just starting with 2 provinces, but becoming ridiculously overpowered in just a few years. That's gonna be a fun experience. Now in 1444, the Ottomans are ridiculously overpowered, and we will be taking massive advantage of that, as you'd imagine. We shall begin by giving the most standardist of privileges, +1 mana privilege. I'm gonna miss mana. Like, it sucks saying this, but mana is genuinely gonna be one of the things I'm gonna miss a lot. It's weird saying it out loud, but it's the truth, guys. All right, that's actually gonna be the only thing we're gonna give out. We want to keep our influence as low as possible, which begs the question, why did I summon the diet? Am I right? I shouldn't have done that. I kind of just wanted to see if I get anything good, and we got a claim, so why the schnitzel not? We actually got quite a few claims, not just one. Now in classic Ludi fashion, we will be adopting the title of Mia Khalifa and enforcing religious unity. Also going to be deleting the fortification in Suglades and the one in Kocheli. We genuinely don't need these forts. We have enough army to handle anything that comes at us. And speaking of, we shall be recruiting the most noblest of units, the Janissaries. I'm going to get 10 of these units so I can do my mission. Take note, it is going to cost us a military power, so keep that in mind. Now that means we can do refill the Ortas, which means we got claims on the entirety of Anatolia. All of these Schnappeldorpers are going to be ours, and we do train of the Janissary, which gives for 25 years morale of armies. Rival wise, we're going straight for the jugular. We're going to be fighting against the Mamelos, the Vanosians, and heck, we're even going to add the Poles into the fray. As for allies, we're going to have 2 main allies, the Crimeans and the Tunisians, pretty much. I might add some more allies later down the line. Maybe I make some diplomatic vassals out of them, but for now this should be okay. As the Ottomans, you really do not actually need allies in general. We also want to make sure we have enough money for certain events to trigger, so we're going to get 1 loan. And look at that, the Knights have decided to raid our coastline. Well, Knights, remember something here. We've got a claim on you, buddy boy, so you better be careful. You better watch out. You better not cry. Speaking of, we probably want to get some more galleys to fight against the Venetians as well as the Knights in this campaign. There we go, the victory over the Varna Crusade. The siege engineer Urban would like to join our midst. Let's get him hired, and let's also get a secondary general, which means that now we can do the aftermath of Varna. So now we've got claims on the entirety of the Balkans and the entirety of Anatolia before we're even able to declare the war on the 11th of December. That is crazy. So of course, first war shall be against Constantinople. The last vestiges of Christendom in the Balkans are about to be extinguished. The last brave soldiers of Byzantium will fall at the Battle of Tarnovo. Can we get an F in the chat for the bravest of braves? Also, as our secondary war, we're gonna go for Dulkadir, simply so we have access to the Mamluks right afterwards. I could also diplomatically vassalize Dulkadir, as it's pretty easy actually, but I'd rather just directly own lands. Less complications, basically. Now we've also changed our advisor to Urban, which means we can do the guns of Urban. So we have 4 artillery pieces spawned in our capital, with which we shall destroy the walls of Constantinople. Speaking of, if you guys haven't actually seen the walls of Constantinople, the Theodosian walls, which are still standing surprisingly in Istanbul today in Turkey, highly recommend you check it out. Really, really beautiful, and the vibe you get from seeing those walls is just very unique in my opinion. Interceptio complicatio. There goes the Dulkadiri neighborhood, boyos. It's Jover. We won. A little bit of a fun fact about the leader of the Ottoman Empire in 1444, Sultan Mehmed II Fatih. He's only 12 years old and is a leader, which is a unique thing. Not many start off like this in EU4, and this is historical actually. He technically was the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire for a few years, whilst his dad Murad II was kind of taking a break, I guess you could say. He did take over again for a few years, and then Mehmed took back the throne afterwards. So it was like a back and forward between Mehmed and Murad for a few years. Very interesting situation during the fall of the Byzantine Empire. Now, whilst we're doing all this, we're also going to be getting favors with the Crimeans, so we can eventually do another mission that allows us to make them a subject but free. The sack of Constantinople, the last vestiges of the Eastern Romans are officially Kaputski, as they say in Turkish. That's totally Turkish word. I miss kebab. In fact, I want some doner kebab right now. With the fall of Constantinople, we have the option of making peace with them, taking Constantinople, and letting the southern tip of Byzantium alive. Historically, this actually happened. Morea still survived as technically the last actual last Eastern Roman vestiges, or even Trebizond lasted longer than that, and it's debated whether Trebizond or the rulers in Byzantium itself, or better yet, Constantinople itself, were the last Romans, since both branches of the Byzantines separated from one another and claimed to be the actual Romans, talking about the Komnenos and the Palaiologos. Having 10 galleys also means we get a free admiral, so that's the second one. We already recruited one. Hopefully this guy's a little bit better. Debatable, because we're not really doing anything with our army in Aydin. Let's go ahead and attack Ramadan as well. Guess you could say that Ramadan is Ramadan for need to stop making these jokes. All right, there we go. One out of the way. First, Turkic Beylik 2 have succumbed to us. Also, we probably want to get one stability, and that means we now have a direct border with the Mamelukes. The Byzantines have also basically given up, so that is it. We now have the city of Constantinople, which means we can enact the decision of integrating Galata, and more importantly than that, we can make Constantinople our capital once we are at peace. So what I'm going to do to make sure I go to peace a little bit faster is I'm going to ship on over my cannons to Adana, as well as I'm going to be blockading the fort here, which means I should be able to take this fortification significantly faster. Let's go ahead. Send the Kanonensteiners. And I also don't like the fact that the knights have been continuously harassing me. I'm going to attack them. I'm not going to co-belligerate, but I'm still going to annex them via the Epirus War. And I'm doing this because they're just an absolute nuisance. Literally a massive nuisance. Also, I want to have a direct war with the Venetians, so if I was to co-belligerate them, I'd have to fight the Venetians too, and then I would not be able to get more provinces than I would otherwise be able to from the Venetians themselves. We basically just want to take the entirety of the Balkan provinces that Venice has in the first war. Nobility can be bought. Of course they can. Anyone, in fact, can be bought with the right amount of money. Am I right, guys? Come on, come on. You know how much you would need to pay to buy me? The lowest tier on my page. I'd be technically yours then, to be fair. Or even better, use my link to buy or pre-order EU5 for yourself, or any Paradox game really that you'd like to get. You can use with my link, and I would be, again, forever in your debt and very appreciative. I get a commission on every purchase, so for every 5 people that buy it, I get $1 trillion Brazilian dollars, which is enough to restore the Roman Empire, technically. Except everyone would be Brazilian in that particular instance. Oh my lord. The nations insulted us again. Also, guys, I want to address some things. Some people were asking whether I'm going to still be covering EU4 when EU5 comes out. I can guarantee you that I will still be playing EU4 when EU5 comes out. To be fair, EU5 is an amazing game, as you probably already know, but it is a very different game from EU4, right? Like, EU4 is special. Like, I don't think there can ever be a game that compares to EU4, at least in my heart, since, you know, it's a game I've got so many freaking hours in. You don't spend 12,000 hours playing a video game unless you really love it. So EU5 is similar to EU4 from most perspectives, but let's just say that for EU5 it feels a little bit more tailored to a specific type of player, like a really different style from I don't know how to express it into words to not make it sound bad, because I don't want it to sound bad. I really love EU5, like genuinely feel like it's one of the best games out there, and it has a ton of potential, but it's just got a different feel to it than EU4. For example, not having the ability to change things instantly in EU5, right? So like in EU4, you just use mana and you get your stab hit up. Oh, look, I got 3 stability. Or I got my technology, I got my idea group with the mana. You don't have that in EU5. So in EU5, you need to wait a very long time for anything to actually happen. So it is a very time-consuming game compared to EU4, which is not really a bad thing. I actually like that. But sometimes I just want to quickly, you know, like snibbity snoo, snibbity smay, attack yes, this and that, and just quickly do something in the game and see see the result. Also, from a creator perspective, recording EU5 is going to be an absolute pain for sure. Time-wise, it's going to take like 4 or 5 days to do a proper video for sure, at least from a recording perspective. Oh, and stuff like trapping enemy armies on islands and wiping them out is going to be way more difficult, that's for sure. So that's actually a good thing, because there's going to be a lot less cheeses in essence in EU5, at least for now. Never know, maybe we will have a ton of cheeses, who's nobody knows really. Oh no, we haben eine Dekadenzius. It's all good, it's gonna go down. We have currently minus 0.92 decadence each month until the rise of the Ottomans modifier goes away, so that's gonna be until the age of discovery, right? After the age of discovery is when things are gonna get more interesting. That's why I actually want to do 3 or 4 parts in this campaign, play it all the way to 1821 and focus in the first part on the expansion, quickly restore the caliphate and grab the Middle East in basically no time, and then second part we're gonna see how we handle the decadence, go push towards the rest of the mission tree, slowly modernize, and then the third part properly modernize, westernize, and just possibly conquer the world. Maybe that's gonna be in the fourth part, let's see. Well, there goes the neighborhood. This is also the last time that the freaking knights are gonna be able to raid my coastline, because they're not gonna exist anymore. Look at that, deposition of the knightly scourge in freaking deed, baby. Oh hey, we can also get military tech for Domine if I do. That also gave us 50 admin points from our missionum. And look at that, no more free independent nations in the Balkans, well, not in the Greek areas anymore. And seeing as we are finally at peace, we also can make Constantinople our capital. We become an empire, we get 1 stability, so we're up to 3 stability already. And we can do the city of world's desire, which means we get even more development in here. And also it's become a Turkish Sunni province, so it is just a beautiful. Reign in Greece also can be done since we got all of the Greek lands and Greek countries done, which means that we got claims on all of Yugoslavia now. But before we do any of those wars, we're gonna have to focus on the Mamelukes a tiny bit. So we're bringing all of our units by the border with the Mamelukes now. The greatest showdown of our time is about to happen. And speaking of happening, we went up by almost 6% crownlands from just grabbing a couple of provinces here and there, so we're pretty decent with that now. We can give the rest of the privileges. Obviously the advisor cost privileges are a no-brainer, as well as the military privileges. Increased levies is huge. Supremacy over the Sublime Port. Heck, I'm even gonna do indebted to the Merchant Guild, so I get better loans. I can pay off my older loans that are 4%ers, and we got 800 ducats and just paying 0.9 interest, which is huge. Also, we're gonna claim Defender of the Title because it gives us massive bonuses: an extra missionary, morale of armies, manpower and true faith provinces plus 20%. We can start converting these heretical Shia provinces too now. We're gonna use the claims we've been getting against Syria to make our assault here. They outnumber us right now, but I'm not too worried about it. We should still be okay with them. And we can apparently call in the Tunisians. Okay, I mean, sure. Not sure if I need that. Maybe Tunis is gonna actually be the punching bag, because usually what happens is the AI chooses to attack the weakest link in an alliance set. In this case, that would be Tunis, right? And we focused on getting rid of Chandar out of the war, but the problem is I forgot to co-belligerate them, so it's actually going to be a tiny little bit more expensive to fully annex this area. Hey, finally we got Halab. Now, the thing is, I kind of don't want to take too much lands from the Mamluks regardless, because we just want to have 6 or 5 more provinces. That's all we need to get the Ottoman invasion sea beyond the Mamluks, which means that afterwards we can turn them into a core eyalet. I've also deleted most of my fortifications that were badly placed, and I'm going to build new ones. First off in Kestria, which is a mountain province, so that means we get -2 dice roll for attacker and increased defensiveness. Plus, Kestria actually prevents entrance into the rest of Greece, so instead of having Anabolu and Salonik, Kestria actually is going to be useful and much more difficult to crack. Similarly, we're going to have a second one in Filibe, which is a woods province and protects basically the entirety of Bulgaria and the northern parts of Greece. Alright, time to fix the mistake here. We're taking Chandar out of the war. Sinop is also going to be deleted, but we'll keep it for now until it reduces the devastation in the province and adjacent provinces. Then we're going to probably build a fortification in Sivas, which is a highlands, or Divriju is probably way better, which is a mountain province, and it basically protects the entire entrance into here. If we have one fort in Divriji and a second one in Kayseri, that should be the entire entrance into Anatolia together with Trebizond. The fall of Kahira. I love pronouncing fancy words like Kahira, because I'm 100% sure that's exactly how you must be pronouncing that, right guys? Totally not butchering that completely. completely. Come on now. Well, Fadul, if it isn't your dead broskies. All right, let's go ahead and Carpeticus Siegicus a little bit around here. We've got, let's just say a tiny bit more. All right, we can enforce. We need to make sure we have Al-Quds as well as Damascus in this peace deal. So it's going to be a little bit of aggressive expansion, but not anything we cannot handle. More importantly, it means that in the next war, we can use the Ottoman invasion against the Mamluks. And by holding on to the capital of Cairo, we turn them into a core eyalet. We also have 30 spy network in Akoyunlu, which means that we can justify invasion against them, a unique CB only available to the Ottomans, which allows us to turn them into a eyalet, a unique type of subject again of the Ottomans. So that's going to be on the list afterwards. For now, we're going to be just attacking Karaman. We want to clean up, in essence, the Anatolian holds. And now it's going to look a lot better on the map. Also, we have potentially a little bit of a coalition. So what I'm going to do to help with avoid coalitions in the future is I'm going to get an alliance with Dawasir. The reason I'm getting this alliance is because once we have 150 relations with them, we can get Han Bali School, which lowers aggressive expansion impact by 10%. Another thing we can do is Conquest of the Beyliks now, which gives permanent claims on Akoyunlu, His and Kaifa, and parts of Bitlis, as well as Trebizond. Now, to quickly get the relations we're lacking here with Dawasir, we can just go ahead and insult scornfully one of their rivals, which increases our relations with them by 25. So we can get the Hanbali School, boom shakalaka, and that means we can continue our expansion into the Balkans now. The good part about the Ottomans is because we're basically surrounded by multiple cultures, multiple religions. We're at the crossroads between the Christianity and the Muslim world. So by attacking Catholic, Orthodox, Muslim, be it Shia, Sunni, etc. countries, alternatively, we in essence avoid coalitions altogether. I mean, look at this. Right now, just the Mamluks and a couple of other nations are pissed with us. Not so much anyone in Europe, but that's going to change once we take the Yugoslavian parts. I absolutely adore playing as the Ottomans sometimes, considering how overpowered everything is about them. The position, the mechanics they have, absolutely everything is broken. Speaking of, let's go ahead and also lower the autonomy now in the newly conquered provinces. The closer to zero the autonomy, the better, because that way we get more money and manpower out of those lands. It's also great to get this before the Hungarians start munching into Bosnia, because that happens quite a lot. Another unique reform that the Ottomans have, the Devshirme system, allows us to get extra manpower and enables the Devshirme mechanics. We can assign local pashas, which reduce core creation cost by 5%, get possible advisors, diplomatic advisor cost reduction, or we can just get vassal manpower contribution, which is a pretty big one actually, since we're going to have a ton of vassals eventually by making half of the planet Aelits. A really cool event, the fate of the holy city, namely Jerusalem, or Kudus apparently as it's called the Turks. We can upgrade the monument in Kudus by 1 level, meaning we would have a level 2 holy city of Jerusalem, or we can get minus 5% idea cost till the end of the game, which is huge. So obviously that's the better option. And heck, we're also going to go for all of the Devshirme options. Why the hell not? Probably shouldn't have gone for the last one because I don't have any vassals just yet. Look at all these juicy Orthodox provinces and the tiny little schnippledorp of a potential coalition we don't need to stress about. What we do have to stress about is the lack of admin points right now. Here's another little bit of cool history fact. We can get a heathen royal marriage with the Trebizonds. So the thing with the Ottomans is, especially early on in the inception phase of the Ottoman Beylik and all of the Turkic Beyliks, but especially the Ottomans, they used to take Greek princesses as their consorts, multiple ones, right? Because they had harems full of women. This was very common, especially Trebizond married off some of its ladies to Ottoman leaders and princes, I guess. Unfortunately, that's not what's going to happen today, because we're going to be wiping out Trebizond. And I also just realized that Akoyunlu is protecting them. So that sets us back a little bit with expansion eastwards, unfortunately. This particular peace deal is a little bit different because we're going to be grabbing a big chunk of land here that is in essence Anatolian land to secure our borders, but we're also making Georgia our first subject. The reason we're doing that is because they have a buttload of cores. So what I'm thinking is I can use that to grab all the cores they have, get less aggressive expansion in the process, and then keep them as a subject, maybe even turn them into a march. We can use them as basically a punching bag to defend all of the Caucasus from the north and from the east for now. And oh my god, we have a buttload of overextension. I guess now, since we've basically done most of the early expansion, we can just chill for a little while, focus on fixing our economy, and then in the second expansion round, we're gonna take over what's left from Venice, Genoa, the islands, and of course make the Mamluks our eyalet when the truce is over. And for those wondering about the coalition map mode, the Europeans predominantly have joined the coalition, not so much in the Middle East because they're just scared of wussies, the ones that can at least join. Oh, actually I just realized these guys are basically free real estate, so let me go ahead and attack them now with the reconquest of course, EB. So unfortunately for me, Albania and Wallachia have joined in the coalition, but they both have a common ally that is not in the coalition, Herzegovina. So Herzegovina is my way of cleaning up the Balkans right now. Look at this, boys. We're looking so much cleaner now around the world, aren't we? Now, I do like to have my core areas where I basically directly own the land. So aside from this, from now, we're pretty much gonna expand with eyalets, basically. We really have to, actually, because we're still on Admin Tech 3. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. So we genuinely will not be expanding, at least for a while, with our own provinces, just eyalets, and that's it. The funny part is we're actually getting a lot of admin from our insane leader, and we're still lacking. So yeah, might be not the worst idea to get a better, higher level advisor too, I guess. Looks like the coalition has dissipated. We only have actually no one. We got no one left in the coalition. All right, so we've been trading a lot of our favors for trust, which means now we can do Crimean destiny, which in turn means that when the succession of the Crimean Khanate happens, we will be more likely the ones that get them as our tributary. So that's a secured vassal up north. We've also been currying favors with our brand new ally of Karakoyunlu, and we're using those favors to return course for Georgia, our subjecticus, which apparently we haven't improved relations with. Maybe we should do that. One cool thing about the Ottomans is that you have the option of safeguarding the line of succession, or might end up with a little bit of a legitimacy issue here and some rebels. Historically, the Ottomans were very known for killing each other, so fratricide is very, very common amongst the heirs of the Ottoman Empire. The truce is also over with the Mamluks, so we can attack them. We're gonna go, of course, for the Ottoman invasion, Karakoyunlu, simply because we're not actually gonna need to give them anything. We're gonna be able to peace out the Mamluks without having to worry about Karakoyunlu. They're just there as cannon fodder, basically. The collapse of the Mamluk Sultanate. If we hold Cairo for 3 years and we have 90% war score against the Mamluks, we will get the fall of the Sultanate, or we never get the chance to create the eyalet of Egypt without a peace treaty. Obviously, the first option is the better one, so we're gonna go ahead and hold Cairo for 3 years now, whilst getting a 90% war score. We also can go for the third unique government reform of the Ottomans, the provincial government system that again doubles down on making us even more powerful. Plus, it gives income from vassals plus 25%. Remember, we also get the manpower from vassals, and with influence ideas, we get another 25% income from vassals. So the thing is, as the Ottomans, you can get a ridiculous amount of income from your vassals. So it's actually worth having the rest of the planet vassalized as them. I'm going to take advantage of the quick reprieve we have against the Mamluks, and because we've won the war, and I'm going to be attacking the Venetians now. Reason for that is because right now their allies in France are at war, and they would not be joining in on their side. I'd rather not have to fight half of Europe to grab just a few provinces in the Balkans, basically. Now, the cool part is their army is essentially trapped since we have control of the sea tile, so we're going to wipe out the entire Venetian army from the start of the freaking campaign, and their reinforcements cannot even help. They're just sitting here watching us wipe their friendos. This is the worst moment for the Venetian army ever. And now it's your turn, buddy boy. That's right, you don't have any more soldiers, Venice, from day one. Or nor Vanosh. Vanosh, what happened, Vanosh? You haben the 4,000 Unotski? The fall of the Mamluk Sultanate. Historically, this happened when most of the Mamluk leadership was wiped out by the Ottomans, so they quite simply just replaced the leadership. Whilst the Mamluk Sultanate was still in place, they just became a subject to the Ottomans for the next few hundred years. We are gonna be making them a core eyalet, and we have a white peace with them as such, so we basically got half of the Middle East for 0 aggressive expansion. Absolutely beautiful. That means we can now do subjugation of Egypt, so we get for the Tunisians the invasion CB. That means we're gonna have to cancel this alliance with Tunis. I'm sorry, Tunis, but it just was not meant to be. Except you will be a part of my country in a few moments. Don't worry. Just hang on tight there. 5 years truce, that's all. Now Now we do need to improve relations with them because they absolutely hate our guts. They're a tiny bit disloyal. We could actually pay off their debt. That should make them very loyal. It's kind of worth it in my opinion for just 600 ducats. Whenever we see the enemy fleets divided, we just push for that so we can crush them. United, they have more ships than me, but when they have ships in different sea tiles, we can crush that and eventually we get the superiority. Right now they got only 34 galleys or 34 ships overall left, so we can start blockading Venice and land onto Venice itself afterward. The fate of Crimea shall be decided. We can make them a tributary or not. Of course, we want the free lands. We also get 4 provinces, Azov, Punkala, and these are the 2 here. And not only that, but they're core provinces from that event, which is wild. So we established ourselves around most of the Mediterranean already. I mean, the Black Sea. The fall of Venezia. There you go. Get out of my lands, Venice, little Schnitzeldorf. Question is, do we take Istria also? Then we have a direct border with the Austrians, but it would be disconnected from the rest of our country temporarily. I think we'll just take it. Yeah, we're gonna take that. All right, that looks like a good deal to me. It also means that we have push into the north. We get a permanent claim on Carpathia, and we get the Ottoman conquest of Hungary, so we can make Hungary into an eyalet now. Cannot stress enough how overpowered the conquest campaigns of the Ottomans are in this camp. It is just ridiculous, guys. We managed to get control over the Middle East and the Balkans with a nice foothold in Italy, so I'm gonna leave it off here for the first part of the campaign. Make sure you leave a like if you want to see this continued, and don't forget to use my link if you like to get anything from the Paradox store. I would get a commission and I would really appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you in the next one.